cardigan under someone's bed. You put me on and said I was your favorite. Anyways, hello, my name is Chloe and I thought I would give you some Valentine's Day / romance book recommendations. So if you can tell by my little cardigan, it is actually 42 degrees outside right now. But you know, I feel like I've got to whip out the lover cardigan just for this video because it is February, it is Valentine's Day coming up. I know y'all are probably in the mood for some romance books. So here are some of my favorite books from some of my favorite authors, and then we also have some standalone books which I just love in general, which I feel like give off the romance vibes. So how this is going to work is I'm going to show a book and I'm going to give you either like a very brief description or the tropes that are in the book and why I think that you would love it. And that's pretty much just how this video is going to go. I have 4 different authors that I think really encapsulate the romance vibes who I love, and there is obviously a lot more. Behind me are my romance shelves, so I think I'm pretty qualified to say that these are very romantic books. But I honestly wish I could do my whole shelf, but maybe we'll do some honorable mentions which I'm not going to go into detail with. So let's start with that. This right here is my favorite shelf. So a lot of these books I will be talking about. However, I did not mention this particular series because I feel like people, it's well known and people love this series, but it is the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver. These books are cowboy romance books. There's 5 in the series. Each one follows a brother plus someone who's close to them and they consider a brother, and basically we follow each of the brothers on their journey. This has found family, it has great dynamics throughout the whole thing. Every book was stunning. I love them all. Each one has different tropes, but yeah, I love this series. This series is so good. Highly recommend if you have not given it a go. Any Elsie Silver book really, even the Off to the Ranch series, that series is really good as well. It's like a prequel to this series. It's about the brother's sister. If you love this series and want more, Off to the Races is on Kindle Unlimited. So another honorable mention is Emily Henry. I love all her books. They're not interconnected, but if you read them all, they're kind of in the same universe. There's no particular order with them at all. I love these books. My favorite is Funny Story. Highly recommend this book. This was my only 5 stars so far of Emily Henry books, but I really want to reread them because I've read these first 3 at the beginning of my reading journey and I really want to reread them to see how I feel about them now. But yeah, I love all these books. All these books are really good. They're very much raved about. So if you really love more of a fiction, highly recommend these. Another honorable mention is the Windy City series by Liz Tomford. These books are sports romances, and the last book, again, is one of my favorite books. A lot of people have thoughts on the first book, but I actually really enjoyed it. This one's a hockey romance. Then we have a basketball romance, and this follows Ryan Shea. If that name sounds familiar to you, then this is the book that it's in. Then we follow, what's his name? Kai Rhodes, and then we follow Isaiah Rhodes, which is obviously his brother. And these books are so good. Every single book just gets better and better and better and better, and I'm so excited for the 5th one to come out. But these are definitely a sports romance series. I highly recommend giving them a go. And please, like, don't listen to the reviews on this one. I really enjoyed it. If you are a follower of my channel by now, you probably know I love hockey romance books. And it wouldn't be a video if I didn't recommend at least some of them. So this series is the, what's it called? I don't even know what the series is called. I'm not sure what this series is called. Anyway, this is a hockey romance series written by Becca Mack. It's got Consider Me, Play With Me, Unravel Me, and Fall With Me. All of these books are so good. This first book, I have read it twice. It's so good. I love the dynamics. It's definitely a found family trope. It's everything and more. It's heavy on the romance. I love these books, especially because I feel like the hockey isn't the like forefront. Like, it talks about hockey obviously because each of these people play hockey, but the 3rd one especially, so good guys. Like, you have to give them a go. And then the last series / books I want to give an honorable mention to is the Vancouver Storm series by Stephanie Archer. The first one, Behind the Net, stunning. Stunning. Again, this is another hockey romance series, so I love the first one. I gave it like a 4.5. Amazing book. The second one, The Fake Out, an almost 5-star. Absolutely love these two books. Honestly, I would give this one a miss. I don't know what she was thinking with this one, but these two are amazing. Highly, highly recommend these two. Okay, this will actually be the last honorable mention. A lot of you have probably heard about Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This is the special edition cover, but I recently lent it out to a friend. This series is so cute, very much like, it's just such a cute series. I love the first one. The second one is my favorite one with Russ and Aurora. Freaking love them. This is a hockey romance series as well, but the third one I will say was not my favorite. If you don't connect to the characters in the third one, then it won't be a good read for you. But the first two are so good. I love them, and all my books are falling because I took these out. But I love these two books. Highly recommend giving them a go if you're ever in the mood for some romance. This is very cute, very easy reads, very fast reads. Now that that's over and done with, let's go with some of the books that I actually want to fully recommend to you guys because they're easy reads, I love them, and I feel like they are romance books. You are probably familiar if you are on the Book Talk realm or any sort of social media platform of Ali Hazelwood. Ali Hazelwood is an amazing writer, first of all. Second of all, she writes these STEM romances, which if you don't know what STEM is, it stands for science, technology, engineering and mathematics. So it is very sciencey. I feel like there's not too much sciencey terms to deter you. The last one, Love Theoretically, does have some sciencey terms. But if I were to recommend you the order to read these in, I would start with The Love Hypothesis. Now this is one of the first books I read. It is a 5-star for me. It's amazing. If you have not read it, please read it. It's perfect, okay? It is a fake dating, STEM, Adam supremacy is all I'm gonna say. Adam supremacy. There is a fake dating trope. It is Grumpy Sunshine. It is a little slow burn as well. It follows Olive, who is a PhD student, and she panics and kisses the first guy that she sees. Turns out, it's Adam. It's Adam, who is a grumpy yet secretly soft professor. So then there's a forced proximity, fake dating, mutual pining. Adam Carlson is the blueprint for every protective, broody, grumpy, secretly soft, tall MMC. Honestly, like, I cannot recommend this book enough. This is perfect for the Valentine's season. It's literally romance in a book and I love it so much. Then we have Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. Love on the Brain is an enemies to lovers, but are they really enemies is the true question. It's a forced proximity again, hidden pining. B is like a neuroscientist working on this big NASA project, and the only thing that's kind of standing in her way of achieving this is Levi. If there's one thing Ali Hazelwood knows how to do, it is to write men. It is to write men. And that is all I have to say about that. And he hates her. He hates her, right? He hates her. There's some serious tension, and Levi is the definition of acts like he hates you but is secretly, you know. Great romance book, Love on the Brain. Then we have Loathe to Love You, which is made of 3 different STEM novellas. So we have Under One Roof, Stuck With You, and Below Zero. The first one is about an environmental engineer, and she finds herself stuck with a roommate from hell, which is this big oil lawyer who won't leave the thermostat alone. Amazing. Then we have Stuck With You, which is a civil engineer and her nemesis and their rival, and oh my god, they get stuck in a New York elevator, and that's kind of the plot of that little novella. And then Below Zero is about a NASA aerospace engineer, and she gets injured in this remote Arctic research station, and there's one person who is willing to save her. Honestly, these books are perfect if you just want a quick read and you don't have time during the month and you're like, oh, I want to read something but I don't want to read something that's too thick or like has too much development. Like, you just want to get straight to the point and you just want a quick read. Perfect books, honestly perfect. Like, they are literally 100 pages each roughly, and I really want to reread them because looking back, these are so good. They're just perfect little bites of romance. And then finally we have Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. This is the most STEM one that I've read by her so far, and it's about a grumpy physicist and a sunshine fake girlfriend for hire. So this is a forced proximity trope, which is very common in all of her books, and there is a little bit of academic rivalry. And yeah, Elsie is a theoretical oh my god, I can't talk. So basically Elsie is this theoretical physicist who faked dates for some extra cash, and then she lands herself this big position at this company, and she's like, oh my god, this is amazing. Except the person that stands in her way is Jack, and Jack is the older brother of someone who she used to fake date. Any of these books are amazing, but literally you can't go wrong with any of them. They're literally perfect little romances. They're not that thick, you can easily fly through them, they're fast paced, it's just perfect. Next up we have some of my favorite books from Tessa Bailey. I am a hardcore Tessa Bailey fan. I first read It Happened One Summer when I first started reading, and I loved it. It was a 5-star book for me. I think this is literally the perfect summer romance situation. So if you're living in a hot country like I am, this is literally so perfect if you haven't read it yet. It's a grumpy fisherman, LA party girl, small town romance. And could you ask for anything more? As I said, it's a grumpy sunshine, it is a small town, it is a forced proximity, the whole thing. So we follow our main character Piper, who is a spoiled socialite, and she gets exited from her family to this tiny fishing town and meets Brendan, who is this grumpy fisherman, and he thinks that she won't last a week. She's determined to prove him wrong, he's determined not to fall in love. We all know how the story goes. Then we have the next book in that little duology, which is Hook, Line and Sinker, which is, it's about her younger sister Hannah, and this has a friends to lovers, reformed playboy, fisherman 2.0 type vibe. There is tension. There is tension. It is literally, he thinks that Fox thinks that can I talk? Fox thinks that he is not good enough for her, and she thinks he's exactly what she wants, and she's trying to avoid that. So yeah, also the mixtapes, if you know, you know. Then we have my second favorite series, which she actually released after this one. This little duology called Secretly Yours and Unfortunately Yours. Secretly Yours is a grumpy professor slash chaotic sunshine gardener. It is a classic grumpy sunshine trope, which Tessa Bailey does so well. Her childhood crush, second chance kind of, not really. And yeah, so we have Hallie, who's this chaotic, in the best way possible, gardener. She's trying to revamp Julian's vineyard estate because she feels like it needs more flowers and needs more life into it. And Julian is this grumpy, uptight professor, and he loves structure. He very much needs structure in his life, and Hallie comes in and blows it all out of proportion. We all know how it goes. We all know how it goes. And this whole thing happens because, well, the whole premise of the Secretly Yours is that Hallie writes a love letter. It's just so good. The tension is so good, and it's just perfect. I love it. And then we have the second book in this duology, which is actually a 5-star read for me. I was obsessed with this. This is Unfortunately Yours. It is a marriage of convenience trope. It is classic enemies to lovers. It's literally so good. So good. Sorry guys, the lighting is actually gone really funny, so I'm really sorry that it's gone a little bit funny. Basically, Natalie needs, who is Julian's younger sister, she needs to marry someone to claim her inheritance for her to start her own wine business. And then August needs the marriage to secure a loan for his vineyard. It's strictly business, okay? It's strictly business. Except neither of them can ignore the tension. That's right, neither of them can ignore the tension. I love them. I think this is her best work. I think her work before and after is just okay. These series are the best things to come out of it. I'm actually really sweaty. I'm like kind of dying, guys, but it's okay. It's okay because we have Lauren Asher up next. So I have 2 series that I love from her, and that is the Dreamland Billionaires series, which you've probably seen on TikTok and everywhere because it is a very popular series. Basically, these 3 books follow these 3 brothers who are billionaires, and their whole thing is they're trying to claim this inheritance from their grandpa, and each one has a different type of trope. It's following a different set of brothers. The fine print is a grumpy sunshine workplace romance. It's about Rowan and Zara, and basically Rowan's in the business. He's been creating these fairy tales. It's literally like Disneyland on steroids. Zara is hired to like revamp the Dreamland thing. And then we have Terms and Condition, who we follow Declan and Iris, and this again is another marriage of convenience. I'm so sorry, this is gonna get real ugly real fast. Alright, ignore the yellow, okay? Ignore the yellow. But this is basically a marriage of convenience situation because in his clause to claim the inheritance, he has to marry someone, and Iris is his assistant. And then finally we have Callahan and Alana, who used to date when they were very young, and Callahan has an addiction, and this was a 5-star book for me. I am obsessed with it. It's so good. It's literally perfect. I cried. The way everything like played out was so good. It's a golden retriever in the purest form. And then the next series of hers that I would want to recommend is the Dirty Air series. These books are really heavy because I got them off someone, and they're like the OG publishing, so like look how white the pages are. Anyways, these books are on Kindle Unlimited in Australia as well, and this is an F1 driver series. So we follow 4 different drivers who apparently it's not entirely accurate to F1, I will say that, but it's still good. It still eats. The first one is the F1 driver and the team owner's little sister, and all of the tension that comes with that. She's also a photographer. Yeah, the second one is an enemies to lovers situation, and it's great. It's great. It's about Liam and Sophie. Then we have Wrecked, which is about Alina and Jax, and Alina is this PR person for Jax, and Jax is just like a mess, and it's great. It's great. And then finally we have my favorite one out of the series, which is about Chloe and Santiago, and Santiago had an injury. So yeah, that is all of the romance books that I recommend for your Valentine's Day / for the month. Let me know if you give any of these a read. Let me know if you have any romance recommendations for me, because I feel like I've read them all. Yeah, that is all. I am sweating. I am low-key dying in this sweater, but thanks for watching. Here's all my socials. Give me a follow on there, and I will see you in my next video.